I got a lot of new equipment right now. I'm playing with, I don't know, that's a green screen behind me, which obviously, and I wanted to play with like camera one, camera two. See that? Camera two, camera one. And just see what happens. See if I'm in range, see what's going on. And yeah, so figured I'd get a couple of minutes and then edit it all together. Does that make sense? The other thing is, I don't really care, so I don't care. I know my green screen has wrinkles. I don't want to hear it. I really don't care. This is really just a test of a bunch of different stuff together. And the other thing, I was on like 5 or 6 interviews the last couple weeks, and I answered a bunch of the same questions. At least one question was like, if people ask why I speak German, warum sprichst du Deutsch, or whatever, it's because grew up in Germany. I lived 10 years in Germany, 10 years in Czech Republic, and some 15 years in the States, split between Oregon and California. Now, I was born in Corvallis, Oregon, and if you have no idea who I am, that doesn't matter. You'll figure it out. But this gets asked eventually. It's like, are you German? No. With a name like Travis Dow, you can't really be German. So I was born in Corvallis, Oregon. Corvallis is like Latin. Maybe it's like bastard redneck Latin for heart of the valley, Cor Vallis. Yeah, it's also, well, it doesn't matter. I moved away before I could remember. I moved to Beaverton with the fam. I was like a year and a half, but family moved to Beaverton, which is where my brother was born, A. It's also basically a suburb of Portland, B. And Roman numeral 3, it's like, it's the headquarters of Nike, which is kind of a big deal. But you wouldn't think, yeah, Nike's from Beaverton, Oregon. It's not even, that's weird. Anyways, my brother was born there. That's kind of where I made my first memories. That's not really important. He's there now. He's back. I'll probably, be in Beaverton at some point. So I know Beaverton. I got friends up there and stuff. But when I was 4, my brother was like 2.5, and my dad got a job in Munich, Germany, as a software developer. So we moved to Munich, and I grew up in Munich. I lived there 10 years, not 10 years in a row. I lived there from like 4 to 19. From the age of 4 to 19 somewhere, but not, yeah, off and on. So for example, when I was 10, we moved to California, to Nevada City, California. And Nevada City used to be a big deal. It used to be the second largest town and city in California after San Francisco. That's a big deal. That means it was because it was a gold mining, gold rush area. So people would come into San Francisco and then go up to the gold fields in Nevada City. And on the way, there was this truck stop, and they made it the state's capital because it was between the two, and they called it Sacramento. That's right. There you go. Fun fact. Before that, the capital was Monterey. Did you not know that? That's true. So Nevada City now is like nothing, but at that point, it's such a big deal. They named the whole county after it, Nevada County. And then when they needed a name for the state to the east, they called the whole state Nevada, which is ironic because Nevada means snow-covered, snow-capped. Yeah, snowy. And Nevada, the state, is a desert, so it's good times. Okay, anyways, while we lived in Germany, every summer we'd go visit my grandparents and relatives and such in northern Idaho. So that's a whole nother dynamic. I did like 4 episodes in German on Idaho, Nez Perce and Lewis and Clark, and even stuff like Aryan Nations, and so Ruby Ridge. It's all right there. My grandfather had lived in Ruby Creek, which is Ruby Ridge is next to. So anyways, so all that stuff. So I talked about that a lot, and then people asked me what's the connection to Idaho. I spent every summer in Idaho. Great memories of Idaho. But anyways, we moved back to Munich when I was 12, only for a couple of years. And then the day before high school, I moved back to Oregon. I didn't learn how to read or write English until I was 10 at Nevada City. I should say that. I learned how to read or write German first. Yeah, and then Nevada City is also where my dad's from, like that area. So, yeah. And then, all right. So back in Germany, and then high school was in Corvallis, Oregon again. So that was the town I was born, remember? But then people would be like, oh, you sound funny. Where are you from? And I'd be like, right, that hospital over there. So yeah, I did that, graduated. That was fun. And then I moved back to Munich. And that was the last year in Munich. And then I'm sure at some point I'll do an episode, or, I mean, I've talked about in German especially about, well, I'll never move back to Munich. And I was searched by the police 5 times in 1 year in Munich, and like no thanks and all that stuff. So why does Munich suck? But anyways, so then I went back to Oregon because there's also a university in my hometown, which is Oregon State. It's the home of the Beavers, and I was an Oregon State Beaver until I graduated, and went through college in Corvallis also. So then, after graduation, I didn't know what to do, so I moved to, logically, where else? There's only one place to go, really, which is the Czech Republic. I moved to Prague like 2 weeks after graduation. That's a whole nother story. I've told it elsewhere. Had a 3-month return ticket, 2 nights in a hotel, but I ended up being there 10 years. So I got stuck in Prague for 10 years, and I met my wife there, which she's not Czech. She's from Costa Rica, so I got married in Costa Rica. That's a whole nother dynamic to that whole deal. Maybe I'll retire there, I don't know. But anyways, 3 years ago or so, after 10 years in Czech Republic, I moved back to California, not to Oregon, California. This time, my job at the time my company sent me, so I live in the middle of Silicon Valley in Santa Clara, California, which is basically San Jose. It's in the Bay Area, like San Francisco is 30 miles away. And that's where I'm at right now. All right, and that's basically after, so moving back here was my 8th intercontinental move, right? 4 years old from Corvallis, or from Beaverton to Munich, and then when I was 10, from Munich to California, from California to Munich, because learning languages is rough. Spanish is fine. I can move to Costa Rica. I don't want to learn like whole another language. Czech Republic is Slavic, like Russian, and German is Germanic, like Austrian, like German. So yeah, I don't want to learn another language, so I'm kind of happy. In California, they speak Californian, which I'm accustomed to. It's fine. I can deal with that. And so here I be. All right, I think that's probably enough to edit. I don't know. Now I ride motorcycles. I live happily ever after. And I podcast. And hopefully I'll figure out how this stuff works, and this stuff, and this stuff, and that, and the lighting and everything. And the reason I haven't turned it off yet is because now why am I knitting right now? Because I'm fidgety as hell. We've done this kind of thing before where we've recorded a podcast and I'm always clicking around and so this kind of focuses. I don't move my head so much. I'm looking at this right here. See this, my beautiful stitch. I'm just knitting one stitch. This is totally off subject now. I wasn't going to talk about that, but it keeps me from fidgeting. That's it. And it's something else. Yeah, it's different. So anyways, I could tell you hella stories while I knit, or just, I don't know, have stuff behind me on the green screen. So that'll be fun. I'm going to edit most of this talking out, but the thing is I got to finish this row. So this is awkward. You guys just get to watch me finish a row now. Sorry. I can't see myself on that camera. This is the camera. This is actually my cell phone. That's actually a GoPro. And this lavalier, bam, 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 that hopefully is working, is plugged into my phone. All right. That's it. iPhone, GoPro, and a little cheap-ass lavalier. It's not that cheap. It's a Rode. You see those professionally a lot, because I'm professional. No, but it's just a cheap cabled one. All right, this row's almost done. Oh my goodness. This is so much longer.